Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, October 25th, 2024, and we've got a treat for you. And before I paste in Tracy and my conversation, now this conversation happened over a course of about 3 weeks, which is really interesting to see this journey Tracy took on really listening to her body. And I love this conversation because it really shows us how, as we're clearing things, how easily and quickly our bodies shift and change, because this is all about us listening to our systems. Remember, 2024 was all about truths revealed. And I think that's pretty obvious in the world. But what's really crazy cool is how Tracy was listening to her body and really owning, and she always does, right? Owning her truth and knowing when whatever it was shifted inside and how she then was getting over an issue she was having physically and how she went holistic to medical and how they mirrored each other, or I don't know if it's mirrored or really came together in a unified field of oneness. And it's all about us. It's all about what we're holding within and the belief systems and all that. Okay, after that, we go into a lot of other things. We really sort of hit a gambit of a ton of different things. Now, this morning, when I was getting ready to post this, I was told you need to pull a card. So the card I'm pulling is Healing with the Angels by Doreen Virtue. Okay, the Healing with the Angels card was truth and integrity. Like, how perfect is that? Okay, this is the front of the card, and here's the back. Now, what's in there's a see how it says truth and integrity? Okay, so I'm going to read you what that actually means. Okay, truth and integrity. Card meaning you are guided to be very honest with yourself. And this is what this whole thing is, right? And to be true to yourself in all of your activities and actions. Okay, and then I'm going to put my readers on for this next one, the next piece of that. Okay, the angels say you let go, or I'm sorry, the angels say to you, let go of anything inauthentic and all activities that do not mirror your highest intentions for yourself. If something in your life isn't working, be willing to release it to God, source, whatever you want to call it, and the angels. When we open our hands and release unheartful situations, the divine light can enter. Miracles always follow when we surrender troubling conditions. That really happens for me. You'll find that the job, relationship, health issue, or other circumstance heals rapidly in ways that you could never have imagined. All along the way, the angels will perfectly guide you to actions that will either help you replace the situation with something better or heal it entirely. Expect a miracle when you decide to be true to you. God, feel that, right? Like, and wow, that's so perfect for what we're talking about in this conversation that Tracy and I had over the course of weeks. Sort of, piece together. Okay, if there's anything you guys want us to talk about, if you have a question for either of us, let us know, put it in the comments, shoot an email, shoot me a text, whatever, and we'll be on it. We're also getting ready to interview a couple people on their healing journeys and how they healed themselves. And I'm really excited about that because I'm really interested to see what the healers are bringing forward in this energy of now. And that's going to be juicy and exciting. Okay, go have an awesome everything. I love you tremendously. And I will be talking to you on the flip side. Bye.
I'm going to go right to the punchline. So, I've been dealing with this sensation of a UTI, all this stuff going on for 2 weeks now. So We just got through the hurricane, and it comes and it goes, and it comes and it goes. And I've been doing the whole thing with my naturopath, with I Love. But this morning, I'm cleaning the kitchen, and Renae, I'm literally like having a like, why are you giving up on your body? And I'm like, because I'm tired, because it hurts, because it's comfortable, because it's irritating, and I just can I just have the antibiotics? And well, okay, fine, you don't believe in yourself, so I'm going back and forth, and then your text message comes in, and I was like,
what I would do and what I used to do, and it worked every time, is either when you have it in your hand or just thinking about it, say, I'm now infusing this medication into my body.
okay, all right.
Mm-hmm. And then if
Thank
you, yeah, and if you need it, then you'll have it and you actually let her take it. But just keep infusing it into your body. Like if they say, like, I don't know, you take it 3 times a day or whatever, do it. Just infuse the medication in.
I love that. Okay. And again, I just feel like my purpose and passion right now is to really like have faith in my body. Right. So I was feeling like such a, oh, you loser. Like,
but here's the funny thing. You and I will take Advil till the cows come home. We'll do whatever.
I know.
The harder drugs or the ones you have prescription for, like, no.
And there's a little bit of, well, that was brilliant. You don't have to go to the doctor. It's all set up. Because my whole thing is being tied in with the doctors and the insurance companies. Exactly. And then you go to the pharmaceuticals. I've been popping Tylenol, Advil, kind of in the name of, well, this is what I need right now.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anyway, okay, I love that solution. And here's the thing, Renae, I really don't think I need the antibiotic.
Okay, this next section is recorded the following week.
This UTI thing. So, of course, I'm dealing with the hurricane. My back started hurting, and of course, and I'd own the human fear route, like, oh my God, is that my, and I'm like pointing, and I'm like, is this my kidneys? I'm like, no, that's full on your sciatica. He's like, Tracy, that's like in the middle of your butt. And I'm like, yeah, but it could radiate down there. I'd love to laugh at myself and own it, you know, like I said, like, because obviously I picked the, well, I want you to see the whole experience card. And I'm like, oh my God, this is what we do. We throw ourselves into worry and fear. Yep. Anyway, I wrote it out, and it was kind of funny because we're all in our own story and struggle. I'll say that. We're all figuring it out. We're really all like figuring it all out. So I listened to our conversation again, just for, you know, like, I like the layers of the energies involved. Yeah. And I was like, okay, infuse all the energy of this. So I did it. And then a few hours later, I'm like, ooh, I have an idea. I'm going to time collapse and go ahead and collapse a few days, like, because you only take a morning and night. So I did it again a few hours later. And here's where it gets funny. And I was like, okay, that's 2, but I'm time collapsing. So I'm condensing a few days into 1 to kind of speed track this thing and experimenting. So it's whatever. It doesn't even matter. 7 o'clock at night, Renae, I gagged. Like, I literally gagged. And then I was nauseous, and I was nauseous for hours. And the body was like, we're done with that. Don't want it. Don't need it. So I more strongly felt you know how you said you'll feel it? Yeah. Well, the first 2 times I did, but by the 3rd, that was the most. I was, even thinking about it makes me a little sick to my stomach. I was like, oh, frick. Okay, we're done. Just needed like that human component of me. I probably only needed it 1, but of course I'm like, whatever, let's give me the full experience so I really get it, you know? Right, yeah. That's crazy cool, isn't it? Yes. Am I done being the actor in the play? Yeah. When I get the opportunity to talk to you, it's kind of worth it. You know what I mean? Like, I know. I like being the director. Not that I'm the director a lot in my play, but you know what? When I am, I'm like, oh, okay. And then when I'm the actress, I'm like, okay, I get it. Okay, now this section is recorded yet the following week. So here we are at the 3rd week of Tracy really listening to her body, what she needed, and what it's requiring at this point, which is so crazy cool. And talk about how this is coming full circle is crazy cool. This whole UTI kidney bladder thing, right? So we're on week 3 or whatever. And we know there's a bigger happening here. Like whole filtration, like there's so much. Like we don't even need to go into why the body is, pick a word. Right. Expressing, releasing, purging, and bladder, you know. So a few days ago, I'm like, I'm going to get antibiotics. I'm like, I can't, this is ridiculous. Like, I need them. I think I was talking to a friend and she was like, you know what? Why don't you just go get them? And Renae, I was in such resistance to those things until the exact second I wasn't, and I could not get to the doctor quick enough.
Oh, cool. Isn't that crazy cool?
Yes. And so I go to this doctor who, by the way, obviously blew up all my old energetic ties to it and cleared the house, because she walks in and she's like, yeah, you definitely, I said, hey, listen, I don't want to tear up my stomach because I've been having, stomach stuff anyway. I go, can you look up that antibiotic I was on a few years ago? I said, I did really well with that. And she's like, yeah, you did good on it. And she's like, the new research says you only have to be on antibiotics for 3 days for a UTI. She's like, do you want me to culture? She's like, no, let's just intend. You did with this. We're going to knock this out. Like, yeah, okay, let's do this. She's like, you know what? I'm going to write you a prescription for 5 days. If within 3 days you feel great, don't take the last 2 days. Okay, hold on tight. I looked at her and I go, thank you. Like, totally not our, how doctors know, this one's the best for UTI and blah, blah. Yeah. I was like, I'm like screaming gratitude out to anyone who, all the in my body. And I look at the doctor and I go, thank you. I go, wow, you just made my day. And she's like, oh, yeah. She's like, and I'm assuming you take care of yourself. I can tell. And she's like, gosh, I really wish people would take care of themselves. She's like, do you know how many people I see for side effects? She's like, why aren't they going to the doctors that prescribe this stuff for them? Why do I have to deal with fallout? Why isn't there doctors telling them there's potential side effects? She's like, I'm sorry. She's like, I shouldn't be saying this. I'm like, honestly, I agree with you, and it gives me hope and encouragement that you're actually saying this to me. So our medical system is so broken. I'm really, rooting for a turnaround, and the fact that you're having this conversation with me means it's happening. It's a business. Do you know how many unnecessary tests and unnecessary drugs are done so they can make more money? For me personally, right, to make amends with the medical system, with the doctors, with she literally, so I walked out of there like such a huge validation for me. I needed that personally. I needed to see the good in the system. I needed to hear that the dialogue and the narrative is changing. I needed to make up, forgive the drugs and the doctors. Yeah. Like, how beautiful was that?
Oh my God, right. And if everyone could do that, like, imagine the world we'd be living in.
Yes, because I see my, how to word this properly, my energy in the game that was not for the greater good. Like, I had to do that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I truly believe that. And then, of course, I considered, and I went in with antibiotics every time I took them. I held them, I wrote love on it, I went and took energy of it just to, amplify it. And then on day 3, which was yesterday, the day before, I was feeling so much better, and then I got little twinges, and it was like my body was like, you know what, stay in the game for 5 days. It's powerful, it's potent. And I was like, okay, I will. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I take the antibiotic, but every time there's so much energetic, intent and whatever else, work going into it. Mm-hmm. So, there you go.
Wow. Oh my God. Well, and how crazy cool was that you had to go through all this stuff beforehand to hold tight to make sure that you got to this particular doctor at that right time. Like, I love when we look at that whole scenario, and that's just exactly in the perfect example of how life is. Like, we're not looking at this bigger picture, because, somebody else would be like, well, then that was just a waste of time. Why didn't you go beforehand? Well, because you probably wouldn't have met her beforehand, or you didn't make peace with the medical field beforehand. So you would have had a different experience, right? They were saying the other day, they said, every single person is having a different experience. And because I can't remember what I was asking, something about, okay, I know that everything goes on simultaneously. Everything that we're going through now, we've already done this. We've already experienced it. That's where the deja vu and everything comes in. We've already experienced that. So I get it. But why are we still going through and doing the exact same things that we did. And they said, you don't. Everybody doesn't do the exact same things. Like some people will because they're supposed to be seeing the peace and the fun and the joy and just make peace with everything, which goes right into what you were saying. You made peace with the doctors, right? And look at the experience you had, right? Because it's that whole thing of shifting and changing. You've been through this before. Your system knew, okay, look at, I'm going to go through this other stuff. I'm going to infuse it in my body. I'm going to do all of this. And then there's going to come a point where, okay, now I have to go there because in another life, while they're saying this exact scenario happened as well, it's completely different and you can feel it. They're saying you will feel the difference in the memory of this experience that you had from a parallel life. There's a difference here because you've made peace with it. Even though you had that same experience and you had made, they're not saying peace, but they're saying restitution, which is weird. They're saying you made restitution with that whole scenario of the doctors and what they're doing and all of that. They're saying now you see the amazement and the fun and the joy in it this lifetime. And that's what this is all about. This life is about infusing love and joy. And I think we talked about this before, infusing that love and joy and happiness into each and every scenario and not going into the whatever, any sort of limited anything. I'll pick any word for that, the fear, the worry, the concern, whatever it is. And look at how freaking awesome that is and how the energy shifted in the overall consciousness. And I don't mean the overall consciousness for us humans in this human world. I mean the overall consciousness of whatever that big vast, of all that is. Like how crazy cool is that?
Yeah, really, I love, what does this restitution mean? It's a restoration of something lost or stolen, which I am so jamming on this restoration, which, oh my gosh, it's going to flow perfectly into the next topic that I have. Because when I went to get the antibiotics, I texted she's actually a chiropractor, clinical nutrition, and said, hey, I went to get the antibiotics. Should I stay on the supplemental protocol? And she's like, oh, okay, I'm sorry, got bad enough that you did that. No, backlash, because trust me, a naturopath would be like, that's chemical warfare on your body.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And she was like, yeah, stay on this and we'll titrate it down. Beautiful collaboration. Like both sides. Like the doctor didn't tell me that herbal nutrition is bullshit. My herbal, she was like, okay, yeah, let's work together. Like, do you see how beautiful that is?
Yes.
Both sides of that equation, which trust me, I have many experiences of both sides of those equations calling out the other one and saying it's bullshit. You know what I'm saying?
Yep, absolutely. But isn't that what we've been saying? If we could get them to collaborate, like how freaking awesome. But we all have to recognize we are the thing that's stopping that collaboration. Right?
Oh, trust me, I was very, how impactful that was.
Yep.
For me personally, and then, of course, it ripples out, as you know. And then thanking all the players, like the doctor and my, both doctors, they're both doctors. Anyway, beautiful, right?
I know. Oh, my God, that's so awesome. And how, even as you were telling this story of that doctor, I was like, oh, my God, the world is changing. Everything is shifting, everything is changing. I'm so excited and so now looking forward to what this world really is becoming. I mean, it's exactly what, I don't know why I would question it, and if I was, but it's exactly what they've been saying. Because it's easy to say, when they're saying, oh yeah, everything's changing, the electrical alignment, it's you're moving into this other world. It's okay, I get it, and I get excited, and I'm like, yes. But there's also, I'm sure, a little piece in there that is how's that work? How's that happen? Right? So to hear this and to see how awesome this is going to be, oh my God, perfect.
Yeah, because, me too, well, when?
Right.
Why does my back hurt right now? Shit, okay, I get over the UTI, now I have a backache? What's up? You know what I mean? So I'm there in the excitement, but then pushing the next thing. And I know I do it. Well, you're the one that keeps, okay, what's next? Let's go. Why do I have to do that? But so along those lines, and you know how this turns out, all of a sudden we get into this thing, and she's like, you know, I know people think all this is conspiracy theory, but we just talk about everything that we're talking about, not on an energetic level about, but what's happening in the world. She's like, you have to listen to this podcast of Joe Rogan. It's one guy's a political like a lawyer, I don't know, political activist, and then his sister is a medical. And sure enough, I'm listening to it on Ride Home with Mike, and it's everything we talk about, how broken the medical system is. Not broken, downright corrupt. Like downright, we are going to make money off your suffering. So glad people are finally starting to see beyond. Because I could tell my family, and they're like, Mom, you're nuts. But if Joe Rogan's guests say it, they've got, you know, letters after their name. Oh, right. Shit, did you hear? I'm like, I know, we always say the same thing. Tell me that shit for 5 years. Like, what? So, anyway, but good news. And I always like context. Two of the people, Greg Braden, and what is his name? Robert, I'm sure you know, the Pam Gregory brought him up, and she's like, everyone now, it's actually, as you know, pretty common conversation of, oh, we're going to start, you know, anti-aging and rejuvenating, and it really is kind of common conversation amongst the people that check on my YouTube. I'll say that. Yeah, Robert Temple, is that his name? I know you're going to know who he is. Anyway, one more time. Yeah. So he goes to all the archaeology sites. Anyway, she was saying that he has discovered the geometry and coding that actually explains anti-aging and rejuvenation. So I popped on and she put the link to his thing. So I listened to some of it. And anyway, he went into fasting and how you can wrap your head around, break free of the concept of time. Then aging is irrelevant. It doesn't even make sense anymore. It doesn't have context. And he kind of references the Bible, and he got fasting. Some stuff interests me and some stuff doesn't. Here's where it was interesting to me. That I keep having this thought of reclamation. And I've been talking about it with you for months. It came up when I was having a massage with Kimberly months ago. When we were doing the podcast, I talked about it on the podcast. And how I keep seeing myself going back in time and reclaiming parts of myself. I want to wear really old jewelry that I bought before the kids. So 25, 30 years ago, sweatshirt, olives. So it's really this reclamation, these pieces and parts, right? And Alex was looking at a photo album on her floor yesterday. And I'm tearing apart the house cleaning, and I stopped and I looked at one, and it was 17 years ago. And I looked at myself and I was like, oh, wait, that's me. Oh my God, I miss you. Come on. Let's return. What are we doing? And I can remember some, as you know, I had 2 young ones. I knew I was exhausted, and I looked great. I'm like, damn, you look so good. She's just in this picture. What? So where I'm going is I will fascinatingly list to a lot of things. I don't hook into much anything. I go back to my own intel of all of these awarenesses that I've been getting and living of, will come back home. All of it. It's just a reclamation. And the retribution and the restoration, do you see how it goes right into that? So it's so hot in my field and my topic of this reclaiming all of that. Now, what that looks like. And then I'm like, please, can I not have the whole body aches, pains, and can we dim that down? Can we sit on the bomb? Because it understandably it is part of the process. How it plays out obviously is optional. I do fear, whatever, I don't like that word, but that if it was just happening and I didn't know about it, there's an element of me that doesn't like that. I want to know. I want to feel. I want that really freaking sucked having UTIs for 3 weeks, but I get it. But if it hadn't happened that long and that dynamically and in detail, I would have missed a lot of it. Do I need to know what's happening? No, I don't. there a part of me that's like, yeah, but I really want to know? Okay, well, it could be a little, uncomfortable. That's okay. I can handle it. I'm kicking and screaming in the discomfort. I'm like, yeah, I did it.
Exactly. And then I think it's part of that thing of, when they're saying like we have to start to get rid of wanting to know, to experience things, because they said it's so easy to, okay, you go through some change or whatever, and we don't know about it because we said, okay, look, and I don't need to know that stuff. Just let's go, let's just be and do it. They say then we go on to the fast, and I'm showing what looks like a solar system in the way of like almost like you would see it as like a path, right? But it's all like these stars and all this stuff, and it's like going up. And they show you like on it, well, like humanity, on it and like zooming up it, like it's almost like this gravitational pull up. It's not gravity like we know it, and it's going to pull it down. All of a sudden, it's like they're saying no, because then it's reversed. It's the way it is. It's this gravitational pull upward because that's where we are. It was the limitations and the separation that made us think everything pulls down, which is blowing my mind. I'm like, wait, what? But okay, so
which is gravity.
Yeah.
Do you see the component in there too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, keep going.
Crazy. Okay. No, I think you're right. So it makes sense. And they're saying, yeah, absolutely. So, okay. So they're showing like, going up, and they're saying, so it's so much faster and moving and being who and what you truthfully are. It's the human mind of that. Oh, what I want to know, what I don't know. And they say, if we look at it, if humanity looks at it from a point of, we needed to know way, way, way back when, many centuries ago. And that's what kept bringing a further separation and a further separation. And that's what slowed things down. And that's what slowed the evolution down. And that's what got us stuck into the whole field of not only a further separation, but of, oh, let me see. And then I can understand it. They're saying you're not supposed to understand it. And as we both know, this stuff doesn't make any sense at all. Like it has no rhyme nor reason. And it's that point of they're saying, so when we can finally surrender to ourselves, it's not that we're surrendering to anything else. They're saying you're surrendering to yourself. Or people, they're saying, people talk about God or whatever, and they said, it's you're God, you're the true God. Like it's inside of each and every one of you. It's your creation. It's your manifestation, is whatever word you want to use for it. But they're saying you're creating and experiencing exactly what you want to experience, but that part that wants to understand it and explain, oh, well, this is why, or, well, why did that happen? I don't understand why it would have. No, who gives a shit? It happened. It's done. It's over. It's what they said a long time ago. Like things that happened, okay, it happened. Or otherwise, it wasn't supposed to happen. If it wasn't supposed to be, it wouldn't have happened. Period. It's that easy. But it happened. So let go. Who gives a shit why? You're not going to understand why because it's a bigger picture. Now let's let go of the aspect of what I want to understand, I want to see, I want to know, because then I can experience it and be like, holy shit. And now I can explain this to somebody else. And oh my God, this is what happened. And they're going to understand. They're saying humankind, the way the world is, and this goes into what you were saying earlier, and how they put weight and, oh, this is what I need to do into people with whatever, the PhD or whatever it is after their name, or stars. That is just another human being with their own experiences and what they're experiencing. Oh, they told me to do this and that. Oh, okay, I'm going to do that. They're stopping listening to themselves, right? So they're saying, so that whole aspect is they don't listen to just normal people. It's very rare that you get people that be like, because then they're looking for, and even if they do, they say what happens is they're like, well, where else can I find this information to make sure that this is true? Because even though it will feel right to them at that moment, they're not trusting themselves in that aspect. And to say, oh my God, what Tracy said, oh my God, it totally resonates with me. Great. Let me see who else is saying this so I know if I can do it or not. It's like, wait, what? No, of course you can do it. Wait, you wouldn't have heard it if you couldn't do it. So it's the point, and they're saying, and for people, and they've got putting my hand on my heart right now, and they're saying, so people that are looking for the consciousness of change. So let's say people want to I'll say abundance, because that's one of the things that people have been complaining about lately, because everything's so expensive. Well, of course it is, because everybody's saying that. So they're saying if they put their hand on their heart and they said, okay, I'm going to connect in with the consciousness, my consciousness that is abundantly wealthy. And, that basically would not be complaining about any cost of anything. Okay, so with the heart, with their hand on the heart, it's okay, I'm asking for the consciousness of my abundant self to come forward and to show me or to just integrate with me or to show me the way to be or whatever the heck it is, whatever it is they want. They sit and then they sit and they just breathe with that. Immediately comes forward. But what does the mind do? Well, I don't know. I don't feel, because we're looking for something and it could just be this, as you and I both know, this slight shift in us. Because let's use the example of you going to the doctors. Were you that aware that you made complete peace with that whole aspect? Or was it just such a subtle whatever that until she was talking to you, and then you're like, holy shit, clearly I blew up all of this shit of what I thought this was and, all the bullshit that was associated with it to now be having this experience. Right? Did you have that? Did you know before you went in there that you blew all that stuff up? Was there such a big feeling or whatever, or where you're like, no, I know I'm gonna have the experience I need to have and we're good, or whatever it was?
No, you're asking when I went? No.
Yeah.
Honestly, it didn't happen until I talked to her.
See? So you didn't know, you didn't have to know, but there already that piece that whatever word they used before, that resolution that really nullified, in a sense, everything that you had been feeling about the medical sense happened without a conscious awareness. And then you were able to have that experience. And the same, that's what people do. Like, if they're like, okay, look, and I'm going to connect. Okay, I can't talk to spirit guides. I don't get messages. Okay, I'm going to sit. You don't have to put the hand on the heart, but every time I say that, they're putting the hand on the heart. And they say you don't have to, but put the hand on the heart because it's going to recenter and put you there, or just, drop into the heart and then say, okay, please, because you're talking to yourself, your God self, your oneness self, your higher self, whatever the hell you want to call it. You're talking to that component that's really your overall truth of who and what you are. And okay, please bring forward or show me the consciousness of communication with whatever, all of those of pure love and pure light. And that will automatically come forward because everything's inside, right? They just push it down so that it comes forward and it just integrates into you without, exactly like with your situation, it's without even knowing that it's there. People are looking for this big, like, oh my God, I felt it. And all of a sudden, whatever, the angels came upon and the light was there. It's like, no, it's when and you know this, I'm not telling you that you don't know, but when you're going into that place of who and what you are, that, truth of that oneness of you. And I hate the word oneness because it feels so tiny now. But if you're going right into that true self, there's not a big aha moment. It just is. You're just there. And then all of a sudden you have this communication, you're talking to somebody, and they're saying something, and then all of a sudden that wisdom, that knowledge comes out. And because they're not paying attention to it, they don't recognize, oh shit, that's not my wording. I wouldn't have known that because that was that message that came forward from whoever. Right? Like, I feel like I was just like rambling there, but I didn't even know how that even began, but somehow it tied in. And when we listened to the recorder, we'll be like, oh, okay, yeah.
Right. It's funny you say all that because lately, for weeks now, I have been saying, okay, just drop it in my lap. Drop it in my lap. Meaning, I'm declaring for myself, to myself, that I don't need the extraneous validate everything you just said. Or because I know in the past, that's how I liked to see and learn and know, like, ooh, give me a juicy experience. So I really can see it instead of just the knowing dropping in. So I really have. That's been my phrase now for weeks now. Okay, just drop it in my lap. Good. Like I'm listening. I'm aware. So I was like, are you? Like, I'm trying. I'm really trying.
You're like, yes, I am. Well, and of course you are, because look at, again, what happened with when you went to the doctors.
Yeah.
Right? So, it really is. And, that's the part, because they're saying that's the whole component of when you let go of having to know or having to, because then to experience that, and they're saying that's what we were talking. Thanks for keeping track, guys. They're saying that's what we were talking about before before they went on their little whatever. And they're saying so when we can really let go of that whole aspect of knowing or experiencing something, so that the human body can say, oh my God, look at how far we've come, or look what we're doing. They're saying that's when we're going to go up that gravitational pull up into the true self, who you are, and be able to do everything and anything. And when we stop looking for, because they're saying, do you both see how when you're saying, yeah, but when, because I'm always doing that. I'm always like, okay, but when? Like, come on. And they're saying, so when you're saying that, do you see how you're pushing it back further? Because you're saying, I'm not doing it now. And I'm like, yep. So, yeah, so it's that piece. And they're saying, like, the human element doesn't understand that. They don't understand. They don't say, well, I don't have, and when am I going to? That you already have it. They're not feeling like they have it. And they have to feel like they have it. Like, take the time daily to feel that you already have it. Okay, here we're jumping to a whole other topic of the earth and its shifts and changes that's going on. They're saying sometimes the earth has to go through a shift, because what has been in the earth, and they're saying go back into old times. Somebody, people always talk about these ancient burial grounds and all that. And they said there's not ancient burial grounds in one specific place. The whole world is full of ancient burial grounds. They're saying people used to bury their loved ones or whatever on their own properties. So people think that, oh, well, okay, we go to a cemetery. And they said cemeteries were created merely for money and for a way to now control certain things. They wanted tax dollars and different stuff. It was a government aspect. So they're saying, so, when you're looking at different properties way, way, way down deep, there are the elements, there's the bones, there's stuff. Well, that energy is there. So they're saying in this big shift, in this big change of what we're doing, there is such an energetic alignment and misalignment within certain layers of the earth that now everything is realigning. The physical forms, everything on earth and beyond is now realigning with all of the elements. It's not just earth, with every single element out there. So there's so many we're unaware of. In this realignment and this restructuring, of course, we're going to have weird things that are happening. We're going to feel exhausted. We're going to feel these emotions that don't make any sense. We're going to feel like we're going crazy, all sorts of stuff, because it's all coming up to leave. It may not be ours. It may be somebody that had died from whatever, something so many centuries ago that we don't even know what it is. But that energy, as we're reconnecting with, because remember, we're all a piece and a part of each other, everything and everyone, including all elements of the earth and everything. So as that's all coming forward, we have to allow that to clear through our physical forms. But it goes back to what you were saying earlier. If you're saying, I don't need to know this, just do it. Get it done. Let's go. Where, I'm here and you're feeling that energy or whatever, or where you want to be. That's what's realigning, restructuring, and all of a sudden you're there. And all of that can clear much easier, much simpler, because we're not tied into it. But then everything shifts and changes. That's why in some parts of the world, and like when the energetic rotation is always happening within the world, they're saying you can clear the property, and then all of a sudden the energetic rotation shifts, and now all of a sudden you've got this other energy that maybe was 15,000 miles away, but now it's rotated, now it's under your property, because you're going to clear it. You're going to be very aware. And they're saying that's where people get stuck. Oh my God, I claimed my property. Why do I have this? I don't understand. No, you're part of oneness or unity. Unity I like better, because oneness is so limited these days. You're doing the work, so now it's going to shift and it's going to change, and you're bringing this energetic field up. And now you're going into the gravitational pull upwards of, okay, we're clearing this, but we're bringing this whole vibration up higher. And I'm seeing an imbalance. Like they're showing me the world, okay? It's on a tilt. It's like, okay, this part is vibration and energies that still haven't been realigned and restructured. And then the other ones are. So they're trying to pull it all up. And as they're trying to pull it up, a lot of let's say mankind, a lot of mankind have this whole thing of like, I've done this work for so long. When is this going to happen? Instead of doing that, look at the fun and the joy of it. I've done this before. This is easy for me. Okay, let's get it done. And without having to go through the process of, this is what I do to do it. No, we get this done now. However, we say the intention, exactly what you were saying earlier with the medications, that the intention is going to bring that forward and do it without you having to do it, without you having to know or do anything on a conscious level to bring that forward. Does all that make sense?
Yes. Okay. Fabulous. Two things. One, as soon as you said the center of balance, and you said that very early in all of that, I get, my hand starts moving, and it's like I'm holding this big ball, and whatever, like a big marble, and then it becomes the earth, and I'm rocking it back and forth, and then side to side, and back and forth, and side to side. And then you said about how the energy moves. So everything's sliding and moving. So then you gave me so much more context. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I totally get that. And it's not just the back and forth, it's also the side to side. Yes. So it's a really multi-dimensional shifting, right? You're shifting in all angles, directions.
Yep.
So that was super cool because I had a very clear understanding of how, I'm going to say the we's. There's a lot of people that were getting pretty good at this. Of course, I'm simplifying, right? That just as we walk through, it's everything is kind of like shifting and maneuvering in every microsecond, which would be unbelievably dizzying for most people, and sometimes maybe for us too. I just like to put you in there with me, Renae.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'm there. Yep.
You're doing this.
Yep.
So that was crazy cool, everything you just said. And also, many times I like look in the mirror and I'm like, let's go. But almost like, no, it's not a let's go. It's we're doing it.
Yep.
Because even the let's go implies, okay, we're standing here. No, we are going. We're in it. We're doing it.
Yes.
So even shifting for me, I'm not going to say let's go. It's going to be like, we're doing it.
Yeah. Yep. Or it's done. Yeah. We're done. Yeah. I almost said, did you hear that? I almost said, like, it's done. Let's go. It's like, no, that's the old. It's done. Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah.
Oh. Okay. Before, and I do, like, I will say I love information. I really do. And I really am very mindful, filter it. I was listening to Greg Braden. I do love that Next Level Soul podcast. I will say that's usually what I will listen to if you choose to listen to something.
Yeah.
The reason I'm saying this is because I look at myself a lot. And we are in this life, and we do have, I don't know if there's as much value of, like, never leaving your happy bubble. Like, of just sitting in a place of, everything's great, blah, 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 blah. Right. Or I don't know, maybe that's just too boring for me, and I'll own it. Like, if I get some bumps and bruises, I'm sorry, that's just too boring. That's just me.
Right.
So, but I've been so mindful of my come from, and I just am so 100% rock solid of where my intent is coming from and where I speak from, that I know it's I won't drop down or defer to or go into fear or, keep going on with the bullshit dialogue. Like, I refuse to do it. I just won't. Which gets a little uncomfortable for people, right? Because they're where they're at, of what they choose to see. So anyway, the reason I'm saying all this is I was listening to Greg Braden. He was talking about fascinating stuff, but more of how, pretty much there's a very strong dialogue that still exists that is, in my opinion, designed to keep us, all the words, stuck, broken, sick, asleep, whatever you want to say. And he was very eloquently talking about, how brilliant of a job we're doing for these kids I say this all the time, people are literally lining up and voting for their own self-decimation. And it's so brilliantly orchestrated that they are like literally fighting for their demise. Mm-hmm. And it's sad. And he pretty eloquently stated it all. And I was like, gosh, and I go, but and in my head, I'm like, how do we get out of that fear diet? Like even talking about it is technically bringing energy to it. Mm-hmm. And then he said it. He's like, I make sure every day that if it's an energy of fight, it's for the fight of love. It's for the fight of truth. It's for the fight of freedom. Because in some circumstances, digging your head in the sand, you're perpetuating, right? Mm-hmm. And that's really good for me to hear because, Renae, I got a lot of businesses. I got kids. I got, right. There's a lot of, the people I love are in a lot of very corrupt systems. Mm-hmm. So I do hold my energy, but if it's in a dialogue, I will not speak the truth about it.
Yes.
And do you see how, because I've been struggling with that a lot for the past couple of weeks, like, God, where's the non-judgment? Where's the love? And I'm like, I'm not feeding the fear dialogue. Mm-hmm. I'm standing so strongly in the love with my strength that I'm not giving energy. I won't let your energy infiltrate my field with silence. Mm-hmm. Because you especially in business, like if I don't say anything, the train keeps going down the track sometimes. Yep. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm the one that shows up like, yeah, we're not doing that anymore. Mm-hmm. Thank God. And if it gets a little uncomfortable and heated, I will put my foot on the accelerator. I don't back off.
Yes. Well, and that's what has to happen. But some people get into that whole thing of like, it starts to get a little heated and they don't like confrontation. And the healers and all that are saying, don't look at it as confrontation. Look at it as exactly what you do. No, I'm standing here in love and I'm pouring this out because I am so strong in my knowing that this is what needs to be. It's like, no, this is it. And I think that's why I know that's why you put your, foot on the accelerator and go, because you so stand in that truth and in speaking that and staying open to hear other things, but really following your true knowing, to bringing it forward. And they're saying if people could do that, stand in what they believe in, but they're so used to listening to other people. And even in business, I'm sure you see it. I know you see it all the time with an employee saying, well, no, this should be done this way because this is what works for me. Not looking at the bigger picture of things where you're always in that bigger picture energy and you'll hear their point, but then be like, nope, okay, but this way we're doing it because, and first of all, you don't have to explain it, but because we know it's right for everyone, for everything. As one system makes sense, this is the way it is. And they're saying that's what we're starting to get rid of. And that's what the energy we've been in for the last 2 to 3 months was an energetic field of sort of forcing people to pay attention to what their knowing is. What is it you want? What is it? Let go of everybody else. They're saying recognize and stand strong in you. Stand strong, let go of everybody else's words, everybody else's bullshit, because it really doesn't matter. And they're saying family. That is a huge component where people get screwed up all the time. They flip the scenarios all the time. Well, because they're family, they should know. Bullshit. You don't have to go to things because it's family. If that doesn't feel right, okay, fine, let it go. Who gives a shit? They're honoring themselves. And they're saying, and that's that whole thing of, an energetic misalignment and an energetic misbalance that has now been balancing out for the last 2 to 3 months of really standing strong in your truth and moving forward. And I'm sure because you do that, I'm sure you have seen things run much smoother in the business and in every aspect of your life because you're standing strong in that aspect of what you know and moving it forward for people because you keep that vibration high and you're on that gravitational pull upwards. And when you're doing that for the employees, for everybody that dines there, everybody that comes into that aspect from all of family, you're pulling that forward. And that's when they're saying you'll feel a fight or whatever, because some people that want to stay not stuck, just in that other vibration that they're more comfortable with, they're saying that's when you get the fight. And I'm not telling you anything you don't know, but it's this point of now moving everything forward and recognizing, okay, this is happening for a perfect reason, and I'm not going to get stuck in saying, well, this person didn't do this, or why should I do this? Like, do all of that stuff and just, move forward in what they feel is right. And then I feel like I went on a whole nother, like, what the hell was the beginning point?
And it's standing in your truth with love, even if it's, uncomfortable and in a place of potential position.
I think we have to realize, I think we do, but maybe not to the level that, they want us to be. We have to realize that we're up, like everything is going up. We are up. We're no longer down in that vibration. I heard something the other day, and I said to the angels, is that true? Or, whoever the powers that be. And they were like, yes. I was like, wait, what? Because there's something about the earth is now in this, basically, my words, the lower vibrational energy. And I was like, wait, what? Like, no, it's not. Like, that's not what I'm feeling. And they said, is that true? And they said, yes. And I was like, well, what the fuck? Let's do this. And they said, is that your reality? And I was like, well, no, because that's not what I'm feeling. And they said, so then why are you choosing to put yourself there? I'm like, well, I just read this thing and they said it, and I'm trying to help the earth. So, and the people, like, let's go. And they said, if that's not your reality, then let it go. I was like, okay, but that's why the powers that be and everybody are here to assist us, because we were like, they can't really move forward or do things without us moving forward. They're like, they can always move forward. Like, don't fool yourself into thinking of the old way of doing things. And I was like, well, okay then. But yeah, right. I was like, oh. So then I said, okay, so can't we help that part? Because to me, I said, I'm on the earth too. Like, man, they were really checking me. And they said, are you a piece and a part of that earth? And I was like, oh yeah, the world within the world within the world. So I'm like, okay, so if you're choosing to put your energy and your vibration and what you are onto that you were just reading about and went into a worry mode, like, is that where you want to be? Because now you're saying, I want to help them. So what you're going to do is to help them, you're going to change, you're going to bring your vibration to a different level to go there and to help. I'm like, no, I don't want to go there. I want to now, from where I am, just like you guys, you're not here with me. Like, and they're like, we are. I was like, damn it. And I said, okay, so then that's all I want to do is be like what you're doing, is just like lift that up or help them do that. And they said, then send the right intention. Do not go there. Do not have it set it, say this is what's to be done, and let it go. Move on. Stay in your energy, in your world. And I'm like, well, is that what you guys do? And they're like, that's what we do. I'm like, no, I don't know that. You're always talking to us and you're doing stuff. And they're like, yeah, we help you along, but we don't stay there. We don't stay in that energy. That's why you won't feel us all the time. But it was interesting to me that, okay, like I read that and it was like, oh my God, wait a minute, is that true? And then for them to answer, yes, that's not what I'm feeling. Because, it really was, this world is in this fight and this lower energy, this vibration. We've got to do something about it. And I'm like, that is not what I've been feeling. Like, man, we are in this upward trajectory. We're going up, 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 up. And what the hell? And then, that whole thing came through. So I was like, oh, so we've got to be very conscious and very aware of what we're reading and then what we're putting the energy to, which sort of makes sense as to everybody with this whole political bullshit. Everybody taking sides. There's and it's what they've said forever. Well, what world do you want to be in? Where do you want to be, regardless of who gets in? If your world, your energy, your vibration is this is my life, that's what's going to happen in your world. But if you say, oh my God, this person can get in, and now my shit, and this is okay, that's your life. That's the world you're going to live in, which I thought was really interesting.
And I feel like it is interesting. And if you really think about it, things don't change that quick.
Right.
No one really has that much influence.
Nope.
It's how you navigate through. But you just keep navigating through. You course correct. Like, it's not, you're right. It is, it's, I more and more strongly am getting that and seeing that. Like, I don't want to say it's irrelevant, but it kind of is irrelevant.
Yes. Yes. Yep.
Because that doesn't matter. And that's what's interesting. I've said that to people lately. I go, well, first of all, let's, talk real life politics. No matter what, no matter who wins, there's going to be backlash from either side. And not just in the government, in humanity.
Yes.
Like, it doesn't matter. Either way it goes, it's not like one person's going to win. And you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a shit show either way. And I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm saying that in a realistic way.
Exactly.
So it's irrelevant because, to put it bluntly, there is a potential of a shit show going on down below. So it doesn't even really matter. Because what are you going to do? How are you going to show up? Like, I don't know, because either way, this is what I'm doing. It doesn't change my direction either way, which is kind of a big spot to get to A, be able to claim that, you know what I mean? No, it's not my, oh, it's this. Like, there might be some microscopic details that are different, but in the grander scheme of things, doesn't matter.
Exactly. I mean,
because as we have seen, there's different people in every house of politics, whether it's, federal, state, city. It's always changing.
Yes.
So to define your reality on that, you're just screwing yourself. Like, to be so blunt.
Yeah, it is. It's just so true. It's so true. So what the hell? So I'm hoping people start to recognize that and stop putting all of this, I'll just say crazy energy, to the election. Put all of your energy into what you want in life, what your world should be looking like. Because exactly what you said, nobody has that kind of power. Things take forever to change and shift. And if people aren't staying strong in what they believe to be and what they're going to be, then it's going to falter. And it's going to be. And if you believe that, okay, world's going to shit in a handbag, well, congratulations, that's the world you're going to be in. But you know what? That's not our world. That's not the world I'm choosing to live in. So it's moving forward, right? So, all right. Anything else?
No, we really covered a gambit.